So standard form, or some people call this standard index form. Okay, so if we have 200, now I know that's exactly the same as 2 times 100, because 2 times 100 gives me 200. Now I also know that 100 is 10 times 10, so this is 10 squared. So 200 could be written as 2 times 10 squared. Okay, you can see it's exactly the same thing. So this is 200 in standard form. Okay, now we use standard form so that we can calculate quickly, manually, without using calculators, although there is a calculator button that we can use to use standard form, or sometimes if you get massively huge numbers or infinitesimally small numbers, the calculator will give you your answer in standard form. So this is something that you need to get used to, and it's a syllabus requirement. Now the rule with standard form is that we can only have one digit. Okay, so we can have anything from 1 to 9. We can have decimals as well, so we can have 2.317, and it will always be multiplied by 10 to the power of something. Okay, so if we take, for example, 700, now my only real digit there of any value is the 7. So I know this is going to be 7 multiplied by 10 to the power. Now the way that I do this is my decimal point is here. Okay, so for me to make 707, I would have to move the decimal point twice to get to here. That will give me my power. It's as simple as that. So if I've got 60,000 and they say write this in standard form, well, my number is going to be 6 times 10, because it's always times 10, and the decimal point is going to move once, twice, 3, 4 times. So 60,000 is 6 times 10 to the 4. Now this will always work. Okay, so don't be afraid to use it. Now if I had 317 and they said write this in standard form, my largest number is the 3. Okay, as my largest number here was the 7, my largest number here was the 2. So we always go to the largest number, because remember we can only have one digit. So my decimal point is here. So for me to only have one digit, my decimal point would have to move twice here to give me 3.17. So I would have 3.17 multiplied by 10 to the power, and it's just the number of times the decimal point is moved. So this would be 2. Okay, it really is that simple. So if I've got 719305 and they said change this to standard form, I can only have a single digit, so my single digit is always going to be the most powerful number. So it's going to be 7.19305. So for me to get to that, I write 7.19305 multiplied by 10 to the power of, and then I count the number of times the decimal point moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get my answer 7.19305 times 10 to the 5. Okay, so you can see that writing things in standard form and converting things to standard form is fairly simple. Okay, now if I want to go the other way and make them real numbers, all that happens is I take this number and the decimal point moves back by the number of the power. So if I've got 6.24 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2, and they say what's this as a real number? This is a real number, but what would it be as a whole number? Well, my decimal point is just going to move the other way twice, so it goes once, twice. So I will get 624. If I had 8.1632 multiplied by 10 to the power of 3, and they said what would this be as a whole number or as a real number, I just count back 3. 1, 2, 3. So the decimal point is going to go between the 3 and the 2. So I get 8163.2. That's my answer. Now if we have decimal numbers, let's say we have 0.00162, for example, and they say write this in standard form. Now my biggest number here, albeit decimal, is the 1. Yeah, because we have tenths, hundredths, thousandths, tens of thousands and millions, or hundreds of thousands, sorry. So this is my largest number, so this will be my 1 digit. So my decimal point is going to have to move from here to between the 1 and the 6. Okay, so it's going to move to there. So my number would be 1.62 multiplied by 10, but this time the decimal point is going back the other way 3 times. So instead of 10 to the 3, it becomes 10 to the minus 3. That's right, we can have negative powers. Okay, so if I show you again, so we have 0.00071. Now these are all zeros. The first number that I come to is my most powerful, which is the 7. So I know that I can only have 1 digit, so it will be 7.1. So I have 7.1 multiplied by 10 to the power of, and then I just count the decimal places until I get to the point that I want it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But because it's a decimal number, it's to the minus 5. Okay, so just once more, 0.0000009. Okay, now my biggest number, pretty much my only number, is the 9. So there's no decimal point there. So it's going to be 9. Don't forget times 10. Now my decimal point has to come after the 9, okay? Because if it comes before the 9, it becomes 0.9. So it has to become 9 point. So my decimal point is going to go there. I just count the number of times the point needs to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this would be 9 times 10 to the minus 7. Okay, that's it, my children. That's all there is to it. Okay, so I will do another little lesson on how we can calculate using standard form numbers. Okay.